Hello everybody, Colesaurus Sona here, and here we are at the 300 subscriber special. Again, thanks guys for 300 subscribers. That's pretty crazy. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's obviously not as many as some people, but I'm just excited that people enjoy watching my videos. And since I actually announced 300 subs, I think it's now at like 315, maybe? I don't really know, but either way, that's awesome. I'm just glad that people watch my videos, and I got a lot of really good questions for the Q&A. But if you've been watching since the very, very beginning of my dinosaur figure stuff, or all the way until I don't know, maybe a week ago, thanks for stopping by. Pretty fun stuff goes on here on the channel, and I'm glad that I've still continued to make videos and haven't gotten too burnt out just yet. But let's stop, dawdling over the fact. I know why you all clicked on this video. You want to hear me answer some of your questions. Q&As are some of my favorite videos to make, just because I like it. The interaction is really there, especially with smaller channels, because I can answer all of the questions that I got. I will be answering, including one that was actually submitted today. So yeah, all right, I wrote them all down on this piece of paper. I think there was maybe 11 questions, so not too many obviously, but not, I mean, it's not going to be a hour-long video, which will be nice. All right. So, to start things off, Demetrodon32 asked 3 questions, and I will be getting to all of them. The first question, which is, I don't know, kind of funny because it's also asking about a first of something, it said, who or what first got you into reptiles? That's a funny story. I've always been interested in animals ever since I could first read, or even before then, to be perfectly honest. But the really main thing that got me into reptiles specifically is when I was about 4, I think. I went to this wildlife demonstration. I don't really remember exactly what it was, but it was at this I think it was a state park. I don't really remember exactly because it was so long ago, but all I remember is that these people were presenting reptiles and amphibians. And I remember specifically that there was a white tree frog that I got to hold. But that wasn't the main thing. The main thing was that they actually called for a bunch of kids out of the crowd, and I was one of those kids. I volunteered, which I normally wouldn't do because I was kind of more of a shy, reclusive kid. I didn't want to get in the middle of anything. But I volunteered myself. And they told us to sit in this line of chairs and to put out our arms and close our eyes. When we did that, they put a 12-foot Burmese python across all of our arms. And I remember just being infatuated with it. I thought it was the coolest thing ever. And yeah, and from that point on, it was reptiles. Which is funny considering I actually have a python now. So I guess it's come full circle. Not a Burmese, obviously. They're illegal in Florida now. But it's a Brettles python. Erwin, my Morelia bredli. You can see him in this video, the introduction to him. But yeah, so that's what first got me into reptiles. Next one by Demetrodon32 is my favorite video game. That's hard. Picking favorites is very hard for me. So I think I'll give you a few of my favorites. Minecraft is obviously a really good game in a lot of ways, so that's up there. I don't really know what else. Pokemon Alpha Sapphire I've been playing, and it's been a lot of fun. So I think that would definitely be up in my favorites. The Isle is pretty fun, but it can get kind of boring at times if you're just sitting and growing. But the Isle is probably up in that group of my favorite video games. Spore, that's a fun one. That's a really fun one. Obviously Roblox, back in the old Bashid and Kashid streams. That lent itself to a lot of fun times, and even not streaming, just playing with my friends, messing around on Roblox. I don't know. I think that probably those 5 would constitute as some of my favorites, but I also like Monster Hunter World is a fun one. What else? I don't really know. There's probably more. Oh, Primal Carnage, that's really fun. Yeah, I'm looking at my computer because I'm thinking what games are on there. No, but there's a lot of games that are pretty fun. And the last one by Demetrodon32 is, what is a type of video that you would like to make but never have? Music. I think that'd be pretty fun. I don't think I've actually ever even like mentioned this on the channel. I'm interested in music. I've been interested in music probably almost before I was into reptiles, which is crazy considering I've never talked about it. But yeah, I've really gotten into it over the past year or so, but I've always been like listening to and doing music, just like little instruments. But I play in a steel drum band, which is pretty cool. I'll put a link to one of our some of our most recent songs actually in the description of this video. There's a YouTube channel that you can go see me play steel drums on. I'm not in all the videos because there's a couple steel drum bands that use that YouTube channel, but it's through my my school actually. And I also am learning bass guitar. So yeah, I'm interested in music. Tell me if you'd actually like to see some music stuff on this channel, because I know that if sometimes YouTube kind of like gives me a boot whenever I go too far in a different direction. That's why it was so hard to transition from dinosaur content to reptile content. But normally it's kind of my videos don't do really well unless they're specifically reptile stuff. Especially care guides do really well, but then if I do I don't know, maybe a herping video or maybe funny moments or something, they don't do really well simply because YouTube puts my reptile content out a lot more than other stuff. It was the same way with the dinosaur figures. I just had to reshape the algorithm regarding my channel. It's a confusing stuff. All right. Next question by Dinosaur Productions. Do you have a plan after YouTube, considering that I'm not doing YouTube full time? Yes, I would not like to do YouTube full time. That is one thing I do not want to do. I don't want to be a full-time YouTuber because I feel like that would take away from the actual point that this is a hobby of mine. I don't want to make this a job, because then I think I would just lose all interest and everything into it. Besides, I'm not in a place to where my YouTube channel could be a full-time job, considering obviously 300 subs. Not that that's bad by any means. I think it'd be fine just to stay around that number to where I can interact really closely, but I don't know. But I would never want to do it full time. I'd like to eventually go to school to become a herpetologist, which is a scientist who studies reptiles and amphibians. I'd love to work for conservation. I'd love to work for a museum, be a curator. That's probably my end goal, which would be really nice, to be the curator of herpetology at some sort of institution. I don't really know though. I'm also interested in some other things like arachnology or ornithology or marine biology or paleontology for that matter. I'm still into dinosaurs, obviously. So who knows what the future will bring. Let's see, what's next? Okay. Camp Animated asked, are snakes easy to care for? As pets? It depends, because the term snakes is a really broad, actual, grouping, because some snakes make fantastic pets, and I'd recommend them more than lizards for first-time reptile owners. But some snakes, I wouldn't recommend for anyone, just no one in general. There's some snakes that just don't do well in captivity. So it really depends on what species of snake you're talking about, because some snakes, such as Bredl's pythons or banded water snakes, make fantastic pets, whereas other snakes just don't really make good pets. Dragon snakes don't tend to do well in captivity. Snakes that have really specific diets, crayfish snakes or queen snakes, don't tend to do well, I don't think. Species like that just don't normally do well in captivity. But obviously there's corn snakes, king snakes, milk snakes, rosy boas, boa constrictors, and some of the python species make fantastic pets, and they're really easy to care for. So it really depends on what species you're talking about. If you obviously want to know about a specific snake, feel free to ask me. I'll do it to the best of my knowledge. I don't know about every single species of snake, but I can do some research. All right, and speaking of the banded water snake, Reptile Vibes asked, is there going to be an update on the banded water snake? How's Inadu doing? And yeah, I mean, we can do an update on him. We can do one right now, actually. He's directly right here. So yeah, let's do an update on him. All right, let's do an update on Inadu. So, yeah, he's in here. He's in his hide. Right now, he's still in his 50-gallon tank. In his grow-out tank. He's going to be moved into the paludarium when he gets a little bit bigger. Oh, there he is. Yeah, there he is. Look at that. Hey, buddy. Yeah, Inadu. He hasn't grown too much since the last video, was with him in it was super recent. But here he is in all of his glory, Inadu, the banded water snake. He's still doing good. He's still thriving. Putting on weight, slamming food. Yeah, that's just about it. There he is. He's doing good. Thanks for asking and wondering about him. So the next question by my friend McKinley asked, do you know or can you explain the difference between a green tree python and an emerald tree boa? Well, there's only one way I can do this.
Actually, although they may appear similar to the untrained eye, there are a variety of characteristics that distinguish Morelia viridis from Corallus caninus. For example, if you look at the head structure of the two, Corallus caninus has a much more elongated snout, whereas Morelia viridis has a much more boxy head with a larger eye. That's just the beginning. Also, if you look at the neonatal color...
Alright, so the next question by the Paleo Boy, or Eric, is would I rather have a Brettles python, Irwin, that spawns more pythons every week, or Rexette, but the size of a Tyrannosaurus Rex? And I think that the only real answer to that would be a giant Rexette, because that would just be freaking awesome. Like, imagine riding a huge leopard gecko. That'd be super dangerous, because it'd probably eat you. But at the same time, like, that's awesome. Like, screw all the Brettles pythons in the world, dude. I want the giant leopard gecko. All right, that was a fun question. Give me more questions like that. And Alyssa Marino asked, what is my least favorite animal? That's an easy one. That's an easy one. Homo sapiens. I hate humans. There, that's my least favorite animal. Davy Jones Jr. asked, what is my next reptile going to be? That's a hard question. Because at the moment, I'm completely happy with my reptile collection. I've got a good mix of lizards and snakes. Obviously, I'm working with the baby geckos who will be going to their new homes at some point. And I'm perfectly fine with taking in more baby... Oh, actually, technically, the next reptile I will be getting will be more leopard geckos. They won't be mine, but technically they will be the next ones I end up actually acquiring. But if you mean my next personal reptile, it would probably be a female crested gecko to pair with Leonard, or maybe another carpet python or a short-tailed python or something like that. But I don't plan on getting any more personal reptiles for a long time. All right, and finally, the last question is by It's Your Boy Troy, and he asked, what is your least favorite gecko and your favorite colubrid? Least favorite gecko is hard, because there's a lot of really cool geckos. Oh, I know my least favorite gecko. I'm not a big fan of a lot of the Hemidactylus species, which I know, there's some really cool ones, like Hemidactylus imbricatus, the viper gecko, is super cool. And there's some other really cool, the termite hill geckos and some of the other, North African stuff. But then you've also got Hemidactylus turcicus, which is the Mediterranean wall gecko, or the Turkish wall gecko. They're not the coolest things in the world, which I don't like picking, least favorite stuff, unless it's least favorite animal, because that's humans. But I don't want to pick a least favorite gecko, but I guess if I had to, I would say Hemidactylus turcicus, but I would begrudgingly say that. And my favorite colubrid, that's hard because colubridae or colubroidae, I think it'd be colubroidae, I think, encompasses more species of snakes than any other family of snakes. So that's hard to pick. However, if you made me pick one, I would probably say I don't know, maybe the black-tailed crebo. I like those guys. I like indigo snakes. I like a lot of the Crebos. But I also like a lot of the Asian rat snakes. I'm really interested in Asian rat snakes. So I'm a big fan of the like the Chinese king rat, the Russian rat snake, the Japanese rat snake, the Mandarin rat snake. Those guys are really cool. Oh, I think it's Oreocryptophus. And also like bamboo rats. So I'd probably choose like maybe I don't know. We could sway and say that like just Asian rat snakes in general could be my favorite colubrid. But I don't think I could get any more specific than that. Water snakes are cool too, obviously. I'd keep one. I wouldn't keep them if I didn't like them. But yeah, so those are all the questions. Thanks if you asked one. If you have any more questions, leave them down in the comments and I'll still answer them. It just won't be like a video of me answering them. And yeah, thanks again for 300 subscribers. That's super cool. If you like this video, don't be afraid to leave a like and subscribe if you aren't already. And hit the bell notification so you're always uploaded. And hit the bell notification so you're always notified every time I upload an awesome video just like this one. And without further ado, Colsaurus Dickinsoni, signing out.